making sure their sleepwear is long-lasting and so incredibly soft. If you want only the best for your baby, try Kate and Lane. You won't regret it.
We are following breaking news here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV. This news coming to us out of New York City. A helicopter has crashed into the Hudson River near Jersey City. This happened just after 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Multiple boats have gathered near at the scene. You see there, that's the landing skids of the helicopter. So the helicopter's upside down in the Hudson River right there. This is an area not far, if you're familiar with New York City, Jersey City, not far from the Water's Soul sculpture. A police helicopter was also on scene. You see multiple rescue boats there on the scene right now. These are images that just into our newsroom. Of course, this is a big tourist area. A lot of people in New York City would have witnessed this helicopter going down. Again, you can see right there in the middle of your screen the landing skids of that helicopter there poking out of the water as we're now being told that 2 adults and 3 children, brand new news, 2 adults and 3 children were on board that helicopter when it went down in the Hudson River. We have now confirmed, again, we're following this breaking news, 1 person is confirmed dead at this hour. Again, this happened about, almost 45 minutes or so ago, just about an hour ago, Eastern Time, in the Hudson River. We now have confirmed that 1 person has died. There were 2 adults and 3 children on board that helicopter. You see multiple boats and rescue teams are there on the scene. We want to get to, we have a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, Darren Gobb, who has flown over the Hudson many times. You flew Black Hawk helicopters, sir. Your initial thought when you see what happened there, it's my understanding that the weather there in the area, it's cloudy, it's a little bit rainy in the city today. But when you see what happened, what comes to mind first, sir?
Yeah, hey, thanks. First of all, of course, tragic regardless. We hate to see these things happen no matter where it is. But as an experienced aviation officer from the military, I've seen far too many accidents, and everything comes down to human, environmental, or mechanical factors, either individually or in some combination. Based purely on what I'm seeing on the video, it seems like the weather was probably okay despite rain and mist, but they don't have a perfect view of it, obviously. But that's one of the things we'll look at for weather. Mechanical, who knows, could be any number of things if that is in fact part of this at all. Same with human. There's just a number of things that you cannot determine way too early in this to know any of that. So I'm going to look at the weather first for now, and then the second thing I'm going to look at is the fact that the search and rescue experts who are in the water already, I'm sure they are highly trained, phenomenal experts in what they do, and they're going to do everything they can to attempt to rescue people as quick as they can. And that's always going to be the first protocol.
When you are flying above the Hudson River, Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, who joins us here live on Dr. Phil's Merit TV, are there certain things that you have to be mindful of if you're over some type of other terrain? And does the helicopter need to be equipped with anything like floaties, for example, that would help in assisting this kind of operation in the event that something happens?
Most of the time when you're dealing with helicopter flight over the Hudson River or any body of water, one of the considerations is whether or not you would be able to move that helicopter towards solid ground if you had, say, an engine failure or something else. Typically over the Hudson River, from what I've experienced, is that you are able generally to get to the banks in some way if you had to, for the most part. But being the Hudson River and being the built-up area that it is, we always watch for a couple critical things. Is one, there's rarely ever a place that is just easy to land to, that isn't designed to be landed to in the first place. And the second is that there is usually a fair amount of traffic that goes up and down that river that you really have to be watching for closely. It doesn't seem like that's a factor in this because there's only one aircraft involved. I can't rule it out. I don't know all the facts. None of us really do yet, but
Right.
those are a couple things. Aircraft being in, having installed flotation devices or various things like that would come mostly down to the policy of who is flying it or the company who owns the aircraft. The FAA in this environment would not dictate that they have those kinds of things built onto the aircraft, but they would have potential emergency rescue devices inside. That's probably the best case if they had anything at all.
What about when you're flying in that specific area? What towers are you communicating with? Are you with LaGuardia, or who are you talking to?
Well, LaGuardia could be one if you're inside of the required communication zone for LaGuardia Airport. That is certainly a possibility. And I'm still trying to get a more detailed and specific location to this. So this,
Right.
honestly, this has just happened. I'm just finding out about it too.
Right.
But if you're not talking to an airport tower, you could, and you're outside of the areas where you have to do so, you might only be talking on a common air-to-air frequency that all the aircraft are on moving up and down the river, and all they're doing is giving other aircraft notices of where they're transitioning through airspace, so they avoid each other, both through radio means by letting them know where you are, and second of all through visual identification, and third of all being which way aircraft flow up and down the river. Because it's just like a highway in some ways. You're gonna stay on the right side if you're going north, or you're gonna stay on the east side if you're going north, and the west side if you're going south. That kind of thing. So that's generally who you're talking to. You're not often talking to the larger airports.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we are monitoring breaking news here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV. We know a helicopter carrying 2 adults and 3 children went down in the Hudson River just about an hour ago. There is 1 confirmed death as a result of this accident. And if you're monitoring social media like our hardworking team of producers are right now, you're probably seeing a lot of videos that show some very hard to watch things. And Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, who's a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, flew Black Hawk helicopters, flew over the Hudson many a times. You perhaps have seen some of these videos that I'm talking about, and we're working on confirming the authenticity of these videos, number one, and number two, clearing them so we can show you them live on air here. But there, you see video of a helicopter that's just spiraling out of control, and it appears in another video, Lieutenant Colonel Gobb, that the tail of the helicopter, the second rotor, if you will, was detached and was flying behind it. You mentioned that this could be a number of things, from human error, environmental, weather-related issues, or mechanical failure. It's too early to tell. The NTSB will come in, do their due diligence, and work out what they feel happened. But some of these videos, sir, I don't know if you've seen them, but they are really hard to watch.
Yeah, no, they're always obviously hard to watch, but I have not seen that specific video yet, and will probably wait a little bit to comment too much on it, or at least try to say anything with certainty based just purely on that evidence alone. But what I can say about rotary wing aircraft is every pilot who flies helicopters is cognizant of the emergency called loss of tail rotor effectiveness, or loss of tail rotor in general. That has happened before with helicopters, worldwide. And when that tail rotor loses its effectiveness for a variety of reasons, whether it's weight, weather, or mechanical failure of some kind, that would be what you would expect to see, is that the aircraft spins like that, especially if it doesn't have a fair amount of forward flight, meaning speed, because speed in some ways can overcome the loss of a tail rotor, but it cannot do so entirely. And if you're at a low airspeed, and you lose a tail rotor and you start spinning, it's virtually impossible to recover that. And I dare say at the altitude they would have been flying over the Hudson that I'm familiar with, 99.9% chance you're never going to recover an aircraft like that.
You're monitoring breaking news with us here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV. We now have reports of 3 dead. The initial reports are 5 people were on board that helicopter that you're looking at the middle of your screen. You see the landing skids upright, upside down as the body of the helicopter is in the Hudson River. We've got a picture-in-picture box here. The picture on the right is live pictures out of that area in New York City. And we have brand new into our newsroom, brand new video of the crash. And this is what I'm talking about. You watch this and it takes your breath away. But take a look as we re-rack this video. You can watch and you can see the helicopter in a free fall right there in the middle of your screen and landing in the Hudson River. And it's hard to make out in this video, but there's if we're able to zoom in, you see that black speck that's falling. And again, I'm talking to our producers live on TV here to help them understand that that's the helicopter there. But behind it, when the photographer, in this case Bruce Wall, we got this from his X account. When you zoom out, and you can't really make it out here unless we were to zoom in on this picture here, there's other debris free falling behind it. And it appears, at least to my eye, Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, that it's that tail rotor that you were talking about. When you see that, sir, the body of the helicopter and a free fall into the Hudson River, I mean, again, it breaks your heart when you know that 5 people on board. Reports now that 3 people are dead. There were 2 adults and 3 children. It perhaps, could be a number of things that led to this, but you say that pilots are trained on trying to maneuver out of losing a tail rotor. And again, I want to stress at this point, no confirmation that that's what happened here, but just kind of walking our viewers through different scenarios. You say that that's something that pilots are trained on?
Yes, they are. And if you fly helicopters, you will know when someone talks about that loss of tail rotor either being as ineffectiveness, meaning that that it's attached, but for some odd reason with the weight, the weather, who knows, that it's not functioning correctly or it's not able to overcome the torque of the aircraft itself from the main rotor, or just a loss of tail rotor in general, which has happened. I've seen helicopters that have lost a tail rotor in flight, just came off for mechanical reasons. Who knows? And based on just purely that limited video, that is something extremely unusual. I have not seen a video like that before where an aircraft looks like that prior to impact. How it got that way will be the question, but it certainly does look like it's missing at least a tail rotor, if not most of the tail boom section. It's too fast to be able to tell for sure. Right. But that's what they're going to be able to, and the NTSB is paid to do. They're experts at it, and they'll take their time and do it right. But first things first, of course, is hope and pray that best case scenario at this point is that they are able to recover too. But who knows?
I want to hit on something that you said, sir. You've never seen a helicopter in that condition in a free fall like that. Is that what you said?
Correct. Yeah, I have not seen it. I'm sure others have. The kind of aircraft I flew, though, had a bunch of redundant systems, and the mechanicals were different than this. What I think this aircraft might be, which I don't even want to truly speculate, but to see something in that kind of a sheer vertical free fall that looks like it's missing a major component. Yeah, maybe I've seen something even close to that once in my years of accidents. Most of the accidents are completely different than, at least visually, from what I'm seeing right now.
Lieutenant Colonel, stand by here because we have brand new video just into our newsroom here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV, and this will give you a better perspective of what we've been talking about. Watch here as the camera zooms in, and watch as it looks like some type of tail rotor will come spiraling down from the screen. Is this, so I saw the splash there. Okay, I can't see on my little monitor, so I'm going to move closer to a bigger TV, and maybe you guys at home can see it a little better. But I want to get a better look. Can you guys re-rack that video? So there you see it. It's right above the skyline. Now it's working its way through the buildings, and now it's coming closer to the edge of the water. And you see it. You see that right there, Lieutenant Colonel? Does that look like some type of rotor? I mean, it looked really big. I don't know if that was the tail rotor or if it was the main rotor of that helicopter.
Yeah, I can't see it on the screen I have here now.
Yeah.
But what strikes me about this is the fact that you've got impacts in a couple locations at least now that we can at least visually see. So the obvious conclusion to me is that something came apart in flight. Have no idea why. But helicopters are excellent at flying. Most of them are engineered with a great degree of specificity, and they're. I love flying them. I tell you, I have put my life in their hands many times. But when they do go catastrophic for whatever reason, it usually can be pretty bad. So to see something where parts are flying and landing in different locations like that tells me that something catastrophic happened, something came apart. I could see that item spinning right now.
You see that
impacted.
That's right.
That clearly, to me, that is a rotor system, whether it's the tail or main. I mean, to be seeing that big on a screen like this is, I have to assume that's the main rotor system.
Right.
I would put money on it, but
yeah.
It seems fairly clear to me, unless that's both ends of a tail rotor. I mean, we're guessing here based on limited video exposure, but I think the key lesson or the key message we're seeing here is that in order for this to have happened, something had to have come apart in flight. Now we have no idea why.
Right.
So we have to give that time.
Yeah, so it appears that you can, and again, it's hard to make out if you don't know what you're looking at, and especially like I am, sir, you're probably looking at a small monitor on your computer screen, but excuse me, that you can make out several different rotors coming down. The question this afternoon, obviously just an hour after these pictures came to our attention, is what happened? What caused this helicopter to apparently break apart while flying above the Hudson River, come spiraling down, carrying 5 people, 2 adults and 3 children. Reports are 3 people are dead. The rescue operation continues in the chilly water of the Hudson River right now for 2 other people. Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, thank you so much for adding your additional context and perspective as someone who has flown Black Hawk helicopters. You flew over the Hudson River a number of times. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, thank you again for joining us this afternoon. We do want to return you now to your program, your regularly scheduled program here on Dr. Phil's Merit TV. It's the program Jailed. We will continue to monitor these live pictures behind the scenes, and we'll have more context and perspective tonight for the news on Merit TV.
Possession of paraphernalia. Yeah, she's not happy about what she's been charged with. And she knows why she's here, though. She just saw it on paper and is not happy about it. So she'll forget about it in a few minutes, and we'll put her away, and she'll just go to sleep.
And the doors open up and they leave me outside, and they hand me my clothes and the key to my ride. Now the night hits my face and it brings me to life. Oh Lord, now I'm out that jail tonight. Another night in my street, another night in my hair. Now I'm kicking and tripping without the cops on my...
I'm Lonnie Coombs. Welcome to an exciting episode of Jail on Merritt Street. So we're starting off with an inmate who has to be handcuffed to a bench to prevent self-harm. But if that wasn't enough, he eventually has to be put into a bodyguard restraint system. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, but you'll want to see how this works. It looks like a really scary experience. I'll check back in soon.
After arrest and before trial comes jail. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Another night in the streets, another night in this hell. I've been kicking and tripping, the cops just threw me in jail. Got my fingers in ink, they got my hand on the lights. Dear Lord, please get me out of this jail tonight. Get me out, just get me out.
We're here at the Salt Lake County Metropolitan Jail. I wanted to get into law enforcement. I put myself through the academy, and I got hired on with the jail with the intention of just working at the jail for a couple of years. But once I got into the jail, I found I really liked it. There were a lot of opportunities here. I like the organization, and I like being in a controlled environment where I know what's going on. And that's what's kept me here inside of the jail.
I'm a superstar. You better get out of here. Okay.
Glenn, remember what I said. You don't want to come in here and fight
Don't
these
say my name, dude.
people. All right, man.
It's your charges. Go ahead, dude. I didn't do anything.
We've got one of our prisoners out in the intake area. He's handcuffed to our intake bench waiting to be searched. And he's started pulling against the handcuffs. He's starting to injure his wrists. So if he doesn't stop, we're going to have to restrain him further in order to prevent him from injuring himself. What we'll do is we'll put him in what we call the bodyguard restraint system, which will restrict his movement and prevent him from being able to hurt himself. Glenn, stop.
Hey, why don't you back up before I hurt you?
Stop it. Let's get him unhooked.
Why don't you all get... Wait.
Stop moving. Stop moving. It might chip.
I'm not gonna touch you guys. I'm just gonna...
Stop moving.
You don't need to knock yourself out. These guys will do it for you.
Okay, let's take him forward and then we'll convert to cuffs.
You know, I'll convert to whatever you
Down
want.
on your stomach.
On your stomach.
Take down on your stomach.
Whoa, let me get to my knees,
Kneel
please.
down. Okay. There you go.
Please. Will you do me a favor and take this bag off my head before I freak out? Please.
Let's Turner, you help him.
Dude, take this bag off my head before I freak out. I can't handle it. Dude, I can't handle this bag on my head. Take it off.
Stay still.
Please take it off. Please, that's all I want.
You're talking, you're fine. You're talking, you're fine.
Fine. Please
Stop
take
moving.
the bag off.
Glenn.
I can't see.
Leg wraps coming in from this side.
Don't.
Get his legs together and secure.
Dude, don't do that. Hey, the one whose hand I'm touching, please don't pull that hurt. Oh, there's a lot of you guys over here.
Okay, chest harness.
Oh God, can I move my feet like this? I'm so sorry, you guys.
Pick him
My
up.
arms stiff and everything. It's just...
Let's take him to P2. Turner, grab the camera. Pull the gurney out, prop him up in the back corner, we'll just leave him until he's done trying to hurt
Sorry,
us.
guys. I didn't do like this.
More in the corner.
I know.
Yeah, sit him in the corner.
Oh God.
Let's leave him there.
My back hurts. My back's sore.
Glenn, we'll check you out once you calm down a little bit. We ended up putting him into the bodyguard restraint system. He pulled his legs through the handcuffs while he was sitting on the bench, and he was attempting to bite himself and injure himself some more. This is a safe way to do it. Bodyguard restraint system, it keeps them in a sitting position where they can breathe. We'll follow up with him, see if we can get him to calm down, make sure he's safe, and then we'll give him a chance to sober up and finish processing him.
Babe,
There's your cuffs
appreciate it.
back.
Thanks a lot.
Can you tell me a little bit? I didn't see what this guy was brought in on. What was his deal? Why did we bring him in?
He was brought on public intoxication and trespassing. He walked into someone else's house, was drunk, and they asked him to leave. He left, came back, and was fighting. So when we got there, he was pretty belligerent, yelling at us. Put him in cuffs, put him in the back seat, and he was hitting his head on the door. So I put him in his seat belt, and he was trying to choke himself out. You know, a lot of crazy stuff like that.
Okay. Well, thank you. You guys
problem.
have a safe night, and we'll take care of him.
Take care.
We're gonna go talk to Glenn, see if we can get him to calm down, maybe take the bodyguard off of him. He'll be able to calm down a little better than what he's doing right now. Hey, Glenn?
I've been locked up for 6 hours.
Glenn? Glenn?
I can't move.
If we take this...
I can't breathe. I can't see.
Okay, Glenn, if we take this off of you, will you calm down? And
As long as I can see.
if you start fighting with us, I'm going to leave you in this.
No, sir. No, sir. As long as I
Okay,
can see.
relax. Let's get you out, okay?
Can I roll?
Just hang where you're at. We're going to leave the cuffs on for now, but let's take the bodyguard off. Let's start with the chest harness.
I could really roll if I wanted to. Okay. Thank you so much.
Behave yourself, all right?
Yes, sir.
Just calm down. Don't try to fight us when we're taking this
I
off.
just
all right?
want this face thing off.
We'll take that off last. Take the leg wrap off, roll into prone.
Wow.
Okay, Glenn, we're going to stand you up, then we'll take that off your head.
Stand up, buddy.
You guys should have done that before you put me.
Did you get the cuff port, Lloyd?
I'm not walking into a wall.
All right, buddy, just keep your nose in